everyone, welcome back to another video. So for the longest time now, I've been wanting to see if I can use Builder in a Bottle with dual forms. So we're gonna find that out together, and also at the end of this video I am going to be doing some super cute nail art. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I am starting with nail prep, of course, so I am pushing back my cuticles, and I decided just to film my thumbnail for the nail prep portion of this video just because I'm doing the same exact thing on all of my nails, so I thought might as well just film my thumbnail so you guys don't have to sit through the whole nail prep process when I'm doing the same exact thing on my other nails. And I also used the other side of the cuticle pusher just to scrape away any of that dead skin. Then I'm just using my buffing block and just getting that shine off my nails. You want your nails to be a little rough so that the gel can adhere better. And then I'm just going to dust off that nail dust, and I'm going in with my Model 1's dehydrator. If you don't have a dehydrator, honestly, you can just use like alcohol or acetone, and that will basically do about the same thing. And I'm also going to apply some primer, and I would say primer is optional. You don't have to use primer, it just came with the dehydrator, so I thought might as well use it, and it probably does help a little bit with the longevity of your gel nails. That is basically it for nail prep, and now you would want to apply a base coat, and I'm actually using a peel off base coat so that I don't have to file off or soak off my nails, and I can just pop them off really easily. And of course, if the sticky layer from the base coat does bother you while you're sizing out the dual forms, then you could definitely just size out the dual forms first and then apply your base coat, and it really shouldn't affect the size of the dual form too much unless your base coat is like extremely thick, but usually base coats aren't that thick. I kind of learned the hard way because I do usually apply the base coat after sizing out my nail tips or dual forms. And for some reason, I just forgot. I think I forgot that I had to size out the dual form, so I just went ahead and applied the base coat right away. And I learned my lesson because after I applied the base coat, I sized out my dual forms and I got the nail dust all over my base coat. And since there's a sticky layer, it did stick on to my nails. And it wasn't really that big of a deal, but it was just annoying. So I am sizing out my dual forms now, and these dual forms just weren't that great for my nails, at least. I just feel like I had to do a lot more filing down than I usually do. They just didn't fit my nails that well. I don't know where I got them though. I think they just came in some sort of polygel kit. I'm not sure which one though, but I probably won't use these again. If any of them are too big, then you can just file them down a little bit, and I would always go for the larger one rather than the smaller one if you are in between sizes. If you used polygel with dual forms before, or even just full cover nail tips, it's pretty similar to that. You're just going to size them out, making sure the nail fits sidewall to sidewall. Also, just keep in mind that the builder gel will take up some of the room in the dual form, so it's okay if it is slightly bigger than your nail, just as long as it's not so big that you're gonna get gel on your nail when you're applying them. I did end up using the same dual form for my middle finger and my ring finger, so that's why you only see 4 dual forms. But now I just have my 180 grit file, and I am filing the ones that are a little bit too big for my nail so that they fit my nail properly. Okay, I'm just making sure I have everything ready before I start applying the nails. So I have this glass dap-in dish, and I just put acetone in it, and I get these little micro Q-tips here, and I just have it laid out just in case I do get gel on my skin. I can just quickly clean it up. And I also have these lint-free wipes ready just in case I need them. These are the only two builder gels that I have, and I'm trying to decide which one I want to use. So the first one is Model 1's, and it is a colored builder gel, but it is a little bit thinner than the Amili builder gel, and the Amili builder gel is clear, and I really wanted a colored builder gel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out using this Model 1's builder gel first, and if it's just too liquidy, I will switch to the Amili builder gel, which is a little bit thicker. So a thicker consistency should be easier to use. And I know Amili does have colored builder gels, but I just don't have one on hand. In the end, if you are wanting to use builder gel with dual forms, I would recommend a potted builder gel because those are typically thicker than the builder gel in a bottle. But I actually don't have any potted builder gel right now, and I also just wanted to see if it was possible to use builder gel in a bottle with dual forms. Also, I did want to mention that if it does get out of focus, I'm so sorry about that. I used to film on my phone, and I did get a new camera, and this is actually my second time using the camera for a nail video, so I'm kind of still learning, and it did get out of focus a few times throughout this video, so I do apologize for that. I will explain the whole entire process once I do my next nail, but I have already applied builder gel to the dual form, and I'm just going to apply it kind of like I'm applying a Gel X nail. And once it's applied, I'm going to pop it in the mini lamp just for a flash cure because I am going to be doing a full cure later on. I already mentioned this, but this is my very first time applying builder gel using dual forms, so I was just kind of learning as I went, and I did learn from my mistakes. I feel like by the last nail, I did kind of have it down somewhat. I definitely did my best on the last couple nails compared to the first few, but applying builder gel with dual forms isn't really a common method to apply builder gel, so I couldn't really find many tutorials on it on YouTube. I did find a few which were helpful. But anyways, I am now applying more builder gel to the nail because I wanted it to be a little bit longer, and I'm going to go ahead and do a full cure now because I wasn't patient and I just wanted to get that dual form off to see how it turned out, and I'm actually kind of glad I did it this way instead of waiting to remove the dual form once all the nails are done, because when the dual form is on the nail, you can't really see your mistakes as well. So by taking that dual form off right away, I was able to kind of critique myself and do a little bit better for the next nail. I went ahead and wiped off the sticky layer with some alcohol and a lint-free wipe, but this is totally optional. It just bothered me a little bit to have sticky nails, so I just wanted to wipe it off. So moving on to the next nail, I am just applying some builder gel to the dual form just like I did for the first nail, and I'm trying to get the majority of the builder gel in the center of the nail for the apex, and that way there will just be more structure to the nail and it's less likely it'll break. And also you want the tip of the nail to be a little bit thicker. And then the cuticle area, you do want that area to be the thinnest part, just so you can have more of a seamless look. And of course you can file later on, but it just helps with making it so you don't have to file as much if you do make sure the cuticle area is pretty thin. So I tried my best to do that. It's definitely not perfect at all, but like I said, later on I will file and it's going to look so much better. So I am applying the dual form pretty similar to applying Gel X nails. So you want to start at the cuticle area and then just kind of slowly bring the nail down so it's completely flat on the nail. And you do want to apply a little bit of pressure to make sure there's no air bubbles and to make sure that dual form is completely covering the nail, but you also don't want to apply too much pressure because the builder gel can easily seep out, which is the main issue I had while I was doing this. Which you can see here, I started to cure it, but then I realized it was seeping out a little bit from the bottom, so I took it out of the lamp, and luckily it wasn't cured yet, so I did just wipe it up with some acetone and the little micro Q-tip. But yeah, that was the main issue I had throughout applying all of the nails. Other than that, I didn't have too much of a difficult time, but that was just the only thing. And I think if my nails, my natural nails, were longer, it would definitely be a lot easier. So I would recommend, if you have the option to not clip your nails before doing this, I would recommend that because it would be a lot harder with shorter nails. It was pretty difficult to film this part just because you kind of have to hold your hand in an awkward position, and then it's hard to pay attention to the viewfinder at the same time as applying the builder gels. So I'm sorry, it was pretty difficult to film this part, but basically I'm just adding on to the extension. So after I cured the first part, I am adding on with more builder gel. Originally, I was not applying a slip layer, which I usually do when I'm using builder gel for other things. So I thought maybe I should apply builder gel how I usually do it and apply a slip layer first, which just means you apply a really thin layer over the nail with builder gel, and then you go in with more builder gel after you apply the thin layer. So I went ahead and did that, and it was a lot easier to control the builder gel after applying a slip layer, so I would recommend that as well. I did cure in the lamp my underside of the nail and also the front side of the nail, so I did do a full cure, and now I'm removing the dual form, which is probably my favorite part because it is so satisfying. I did notice that this nail was a bit too thin and I was able to bend it kind of, so I should have added more builder gel, and I could have fixed it just by adding another layer of builder gel. But I ended up not fixing it just because it was a little late at night and I just wanted to get my nail set done. But I should have fixed it because that nail actually broke the second day I was wearing the nails. That nail snapped in half because it was too thin. So I know now that you can't get away with a thin builder gel nail. It has to be pretty sturdy, so just make sure to make it thick enough so it's sturdy, but it doesn't have to be so thick that, it makes your nail bulky. So you kind of just have to find a nice medium. I'm going to go ahead and play some music over the rest of this application, and then we're going to do some super cute nail art. I just wanted to pop in here really quickly and talk about a tip that I forgot to mention. So builder gel is pretty good at self-leveling, which is nice, but it'll also move around depending on how you have your nail position. So for example, if you have your nail facing up, the builder gel is obviously going to go down, and it might go down onto your finger where your skin is. So I just recommend, kind of making sure that doesn't happen and use gravity to your advantage. So you can hold your nail up or down or sideways, just whatever you need to do to make sure that it doesn't get on your skin, and also so it keeps its shape. Have all of the nails applied, and I'm just going to go ahead and clip the tips just because they're all uneven. And you could just skip this part and file the tips, but I thought it would just be a little bit quicker. Plus I like clipping the fake nails with this nail clipper. I don't know, it's just kind of satisfying. So I went ahead and did that, and then now I'm going in with my file, and I am also going to file the tips. I accidentally cut the thumbnail and the index fingernail a little bit shorter than the other nails, so that was an accident. I feel like it wouldn't really be noticeable to anyone unless they're like really looking at my nails though, so it's fine. In the beginning I was thinking I want to do a coffin shape, but I did that to my thumbnail and I was like, that just took too long, so I'm just gonna stick with squares. So you might notice my thumbnail is kind of more of a coffin shape and the rest of them are just square. And I'm actually really happy I just ended up sticking with square because I think it looks so good for this nail set. Also, the camera was about to run out of batteries, so while it was charging, I did file the cuticle area just for a more seamless and smooth look. You might have noticed that there are a few spots on my nails that are bare and don't have any builder gel on them, so I'm just going to fill those spots in now. So I'm taking my builder gel and just applying a little bit to the nail polish palette, and I have this really small detailing brush and I'm just filling in those little spots. You know what, I just realized I told you guys earlier that I didn't film the part when I was filing around my cuticle area, but I actually did. So here it is right now, and I did file the little areas that I filled in just to make it nice and smooth. This is the nail inspo I'm going for, and I will link the Pinterest account in the description box to give them some credit. I am now taking my Whimsical Bloom Ace Beauty eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use this pink color here to create the aurora effect on the thumbnail. I realized the eyeshadow wasn't really sticking to the nail that well, so I ended up applying a base coat since it has a sticky layer, and that ended up working really well. Since you can't see the thumbnail in the inspo picture that well, I kind of just did my own design but still kept with the vibe of the rest of the nails. So after I applied the eyeshadow, I did apply a rhinestone in the middle, and then on each side of the rhinestone I applied the pearls. And I am using the Betty Cora gel nail glue. For this nail, I am going to be doing a Frenchie similar to what's in the picture. So I'm taking this Beetles gel polish, and that is the color I am using for the French nail. And I haven't done a French nail in a hot minute. It's been actually kind of a long time, so I was struggling a little bit. It's definitely not my best Frenchie, but I just kind of went with it. That, and also my brushes aren't that good. All my brushes are super cheap, so if you have any brush recommendations that are really good, let me know in the comments. I did put the same pink eyeshadow on the tip of the nail after doing the French tip, and then I'm just taking my Blue Sky pink gel polish and I'm doing that same dot design like in the picture, just using my dotting tool. So I did attempt to do the 3D nail art that was on this nail, and it just did not work out for me, so I didn't really film that much of it, or I didn't include it in the video at least. And I did use the Betty Cora gel nail glue because I thought that would work since it's kind of a thicker gel consistency, but I looked it up and apparently you need like a thicker builder gel, so it needs to be thicker than what I had. And I really want to get into 3D nail art more, so I'm gonna have to get something like that. Honestly, it didn't look good, but luckily the top coat ended up covering it. This next nail, I did originally make a mistake, but I ended up fixing it, but let's see if you guys can guess it. So I am doing a spotted chrome design, and I started with my clear gel polish, just creating the design. And that's where I made the mistake. So when you do this chrome design, you're actually supposed to buff your nail first before doing anything else. That way the chrome doesn't stick on to the rest of the nail. So I ended up just wiping it off and then buffing my nail, and then I repainted what I painted before, and then I could do the spotted chrome. So I'm just redoing the design here, and then I'm gonna cure it and apply the chrome, and then I'll just dust it off and I'll move on to the next nail. Actually, just kidding, I also added on some pearls to that nail. Okay, now moving on to the next nail, I'm going to do the Aurora design again with the pink eyeshadow, and then I'm just sticking on this cute little white flower nail charm, and I did also put a rhinestone in the middle of the flower. And now I'm going to do some more 3D nail art, but this 3D nail art is a little bit easier, so it actually did turn out pretty well. I'm just going to do kind of just little random dots around the nail, and it'll kind of create the look that there's water droplets on the nail, and it just looks so cool. For this last one, it's a little similar to the index fingernail, but a little different. So I am starting with the French tip again, and then instead of curing it, I am gonna kind of do like the marble method where you leave it uncured and you mix it with another color, but instead of doing like a swirl like you would with marble, I'm just kind of doing random lines, and then I cured it. And once again, I did attempt with the 3D nail art. This one actually worked out a little bit better because it wasn't as intricate as the last one, but it's still, you couldn't really see it that well just because it wasn't thick enough and the top coat did cover it. And I did also add on a small rhinestone and a small pearl to that nail. Finally, to finish up the nail set, I'm using the Model One's top coat just because I did use the Model One's builder gel. Not that you have to use the same top coat, but I thought that would just make sense. So I'm just applying that to all my nails. And for the ring fingernail that has the flower charm, I did just go around with the top coat instead of going all the way over it. And that will just help it stay in place a little bit better. Pretty happy with how this nail set turned out, considering I didn't know how well the builder gel and jewel forms would work out, and I also really like the nail art I did. I think my favorite nail is the middle fingernail with the chrome design. I'm really happy with how that turned out, but also the ring fingernail, I really like that one as well. Let me know in the comments below if you would try builder gel with jewel forms or not, but thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.